Hello again, and thanks for coming back for another video. So today is the end of week 8. 8, that's so awesome. So I weighed myself this morning and I was at 409. So that means at this point that I have lost a total of 44 pounds. Oh my gosh. It's just, I don't know, to me that's just incredible. And the only reason why I say that is I think the most that I've ever been, I think the highest that I remember as far as weight was around 475. I remember when I had gotten to that point, I remember trying to lose weight. I think really what I did was I went to 1,800 pounds. I went very restrictive. And then sometimes I would drop down to about 1,200. And, obviously that can't be sustained for a long time. So eventually I just kind of gave up on it. But I think the most that I ever lost with that was probably about 50 pounds. So I never got to, a single digit within 400 with all the other diets, that I've tried. And in the past, I've done, I've done like Weight Watchers. I've done, I think it was Jenny Craig, the one where they send you the food. I've tried, like I said, just doing like 1,800 calories and just trying to lessen the amount of food that I would take in. But like I've said before, the problem with that is you're still getting all that food that's just eventually going to turn into sugar. Now, I'm not saying all of it is, and please understand that, I realize that not every food out there is out to get you, is out to, increase your sugar and you're just going to die. No. But with the food that I would eat, I would go to, I lived in California until 2010. So I would go to, McDonald's or Burger King or Carl's Jr. or, just In-N-Out. Loved In-N-Out. Oh my gosh. I would buy, probably 1,500 to 2,000 calories in one order. Eat it, and then, 3 or 4 hours later, I might go and get something else that's, almost the same amount of calories. So, my intake back then was at least 3,000 calories a day, at least. Now, granted, the amount of food that I eat is definitely not as much. And I think I'm going to go over on Monday. Because Monday for me will be 60 days. So I'm planning on making a video about 60 days and just, sort of my review of how this has been going. So I think I'm going to go over just kind of what I typically eat on a regular day now. Yeah, so hopefully you'll come back for that one. Just real quickly, I also wanted to mention that I am still taking the B12 and the D3. I was able to go into my medical records through Atrium, and I saw where it talked about that I was deficient in those. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to take those. The hives are gone, so I'm no longer taking Benadryl anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. My walking has increased by about 5 minutes. There's a cemetery that I walk to, and don't worry, I don't disturb any of them. They're asleep. That has a figure 8. And what I do is I will usually walk to there, walk the figure 8, and then walk back, and that's the mile. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding the smaller sort of inside circle once, so that's give me the extra 5 minutes. Probably by since today is Saturday. Probably by Monday, I will work on actually adding the rest of the figure eight. So that will be an extra half mile. So my walking should start increasing to about a mile and a half every day. And if it's too much, then I'll just probably just go back to the smaller circle and just do that for a few more days. So one thing that I wanted to mention, I saw a video the other day by a lady named Laura, and I want to say her last name is Spath, I think, Spath. She was talking about, I guess, people that she's seeing on TikTok where they do videos about carnivore trends, like different little, I don't know, carnivore fads or something along those lines that people do. And the one thing that I remember her talking about was like eating sardines, like only eating sardines for 5 days. The thing about trends, and I think a lot of times what it is people just want a quick fix. I mean, it's the only other term that I can think of. They want to be able to drop 5-6 pounds, maybe even 10 pounds, and then that's it, right? They don't give carnivore enough time. And it's not sustainable. I mean, sardines are, just like that. I mean, they're small, and I mean, what are you going to do? You just going to eat sardines like for the rest of your life? No, of course not. You're just doing it just to, like I said, drop a few pounds and then move on with life. So I don't know. To me, my 60 days is in a couple of days. And if nothing else, if you're thinking about doing carnivore, you got to give it at least 30 days. The only reason why I say that is you've got to give yourself time, physically to start getting used to the change that's coming. If you're like I was, you would eat, just a ton of food, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 calories a day. And then just the next day, you just do the same thing and do the same thing. Now, with Dr. Ken Baker, I think that's his name. Oh boy, I'm really bad with names. He talks about the idea that, you need to at least, when you're doing carnivore, you just eat as much as you want. As long as you stay within the confines of, the rudiment, our meat from rudiment animals, and eggs and dairy and those kinds of things. You can eat as much as you want, because the nice thing is eventually. And then the last part of it, eat as much as you want till you get to the point where you feel full. But see, eventually you'll get to the point where, maybe you're eating this much, and then eventually it is eventually going to go down, because, you're losing size in your stomach, you're losing fat, but you'll also find that you'll have more energy, after you eat. And then you can actually go longer until your next meal. So those are things to keep in mind, that even though you may, go out and buy a couple steaks and, you get a couple, you get 2, 3, 4 burger patties and you throw cheese on it, and then you get a ton of eggs and bacon, and you're going to eat all that in one day. Well, that's great. But, eventually that amount will shrink a little bit, and you will shrink. So keep that in mind as you're starting to figure out if this is something you want to do. And I really believe that you can if you follow it and you just turn your back on all the sugar, all the carbs, don't drink any calories. If you're just going to drink, just do water and that's it. Don't do anything else. I mean, he talks about drinking coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but there's no reason why you can't. If you go and get like heavy cream, cream or use like full fat milk, something where you're going to get more fat in there instead of, maybe like half and half. Of course, I don't know how much fat is in there, but, or like, if you're going to use milk, maybe try to stay away from the 0% and maybe try to go whole, or even better, if you can find it, because I know I can't. If you can find it, see if you can find a place that actually sells raw milk. That's not pasteurized, that doesn't have all the garbage and all the junk in it. But anyway, all that to say, I've said this before, it's about one day at a time and one meal at a time. And, for me now, I'm doing 2 meals a day. Like I said before, I usually eat around 8 after I get up and walk and come back and shower and, just relax and get ready for the morning. 8 o'clock, and then maybe again at 12, maybe 1 o'clock. The only reason why I do that is, especially on the nights that I go to work, I don't want to eat too late, because I start at 4, and I don't want to eat too late to the point where, I may have to go to the bathroom before I go to work. I try not to do that, so that's why I eat a lot earlier. But I mean, my gosh, it really gives me so much energy to be able to get through the night, because I deliver pizzas, so I'm running around inside the kitchen. I'm grabbing people's orders, going out to the car, drive 10, 15 minutes, deliver to their door, get back in, go back and do it all over again. And I'll do that 5, 10, 15 times a night. So, I've got to have the energy, and this really works out for me. So I really think if you give this a chance and you at least do it 30 days, you're going to find that it's going to be a lot better for you. You're going to have a lot more energy, and you're just going to feel good about yourself once it's done. Anyway, thank you for watching. Again, I'll have a video out on Monday for my 60 days. But anyway, again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.